the patterns of public entitlements. I also know all the patterns of, let's see, mobile phone usage. I mean, if all these data stores are correlated and combined with each other, and they're tied to an identity system like Aadhaar, which tags who is it that is doing that, you essentially have a kind of a big brother state that you can't even imagine from 5 years ago, let alone 50 or 100 years ago, right? So what I'm trying to say is that a new kind of state is being born, and you could argue that actually the state has been behind big business in this, right? Businesses such as Google have been collecting data for monetary, for their own profit margin for a while, and I think it's today that a country like India suddenly realizes that if you demonetize and you make cash into information, you suddenly have a way of control that you could not have done before. And so where I'm going to leave you with is this idea that it's not just a temporary issue of who was affected by this move for 4 months or 6 months, but that an entirely new state system is being formed. We don't know what it's going to be, who's going to really win or lose. I would be a little skeptical of saying, let's look at the Ambanis and the Birlas, and sure, they will do better than you and I will, but they may also lose out in a big way, right? So what's interesting is that if you again look at the cash alliance that Pratyush mentioned, it was Microsoft in it, and Visa and MasterCard, right? So it's an interesting alliance of the technology industry and the financial industry. So new kinds of businesses formations and new kinds of alliances between portions of the state and portions of big business are being formed. We don't really know what it's going to look like, but I think it's very important to recognize that a country like India is at the heart of this new transformation. So it's not like, so if you think about it, the last big time when monetary policy was important in India was in 1793 when the permanent settlement was created, right? The great man Cornwallis, who lost here, was the one who started that in India, and of course also defeated Tipu Sultan and among others, right? So the British rule over India was initiated and consolidated by the use of financial instruments. And so what I'm saying is that the future that India will experience as a result of this new sort of data-driven system, we should be looking at it very, very closely to understand what kind of society is being built. I mean, I don't know what the answer is, but I know that this will dictate our lives in the future. Thank you.